they don't want to hear. So when the Most High come and Yahweh shot and the angels, they gonna be like, hi, it's gonna be no.
It's too late for them.
Well, here you go. This is the parable that Christ spoke about these Negroes like this and these Hispanics. This is Luke chapter 14, verse 16. Then said he unto them, a certain man made a great supper and bade many, and sent his servants at supper time to say to them that were bidden, come for all things, come, for all things are now ready. And they all with one consent began to make excuses. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground and I must need go and see it. I pray thee have me excused. And another said, I have bought 5 yokes of oxen and I go to prove them. I pray thee have me excused. And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. So the servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the servant, then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, go out quickly into the streets and to the lanes of the cities, and bring in hither the poor, and the maimed, and the halt, and the blind. And the servant said, Lord, it is done, thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. You go jump to verse 24. For I said unto you that none of those men which were bidden shall not taste of my supper. So you got these people walking up and down the streets, and we try to, hey, everybody know your nationality? I'm busy, man. I gotta go do this. I gotta go to work. No damn well you ain't gotta go to work. Because if you gotta go to work, you wouldn't be walking so damn slow. You be, you know, picking up speed. They coming up with, they coming up with so many excuses and not to hear this word. So when that time comes, it's a wrap for them, man.
That go for Jake that was in the truth that fell out the truth too, man. Because the Most High, he'll turn you over to a reprobate mind, and he'll bring somebody in, the poor, the needy, and they gonna take your spot, and they gonna take your crown too, man.
That goes to that parable that Christ spoke about when he said the dude that went to go plant, and some of the seeds fell wayside to the thorns, some fell to the concrete, some fell into the actual ground itself. And he said the thorns would represent like the brothers that pretty much you plant the seed and then the ways of this world consumes them and chokes them up. But that's what it was.
The cares of the world.
The cares of this world. Our people, they hear this truth, and then these cares of the world, they carry them back into darkness.
You know it's over with after that. Your mind ain't think you no longer a new creature. You know what I'm saying? And you go back to the body.
And the scriptures say that it's worse. You gonna get dealt with worse than a brother that never even heard the truth. Even though he probably did hear the truth, but he probably didn't know it was the truth. But you hearkened, you understood it, your spirit bear witness to it, and then you gonna fall back into the world. You pretty much gonna be the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Get that.
This is Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 4. Howbeit I sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate. But they hearken not.
Right, so they didn't listen to the words of the Most High, Yahweh Shah.
Nor incline their ear to turn from their wickedness, to burn no incense unto other gods.
Right.
Like the brother that just walked by, man, we try to bring him into the fold, and he wasn't even paying attention. That's why I saw them on this way, because I knew in the spirit, you can wait. You know, your spirit, your countenance spell forth how your spirit is. He wasn't listening, man.
First thing he said, I go to church.
I go to church, and he like, I know about that. If you knew about all this, then why you walking around shade face with a bald head?
Right, he probably a pastor or reverend or something, huh? Look like it. You know what I'm saying? The spirit bear witness that he could be a pastor or reverend.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? Give what you got out.
It's the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 36, verse 16.
Come.
But they mocked the messengers of Yahweh and despised his words and misused his prophet until the wrath of Yahweh rose against his people till there was no remedy.
Hey, Shalom, Mom. Shalom. Read that again.
What's up? The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 36, verse 16. But they mocked the messengers of Yahweh.
Right, so they mocked the messengers of the Most High, right?
And despised his words. and misused his prophets until the wrath of Yahweh arose against his people. So there was no remedy.
Right, so Lord, I will. So basically the Most High is going to destroy the wicked, the ones who mock the messages, man.
God.
The ones who misuse the prophets, man.
God.
They're going to be destroyed. You got something?
Are we going to go into like what was fulfilled by Christ? Deuteronomy 18:18.
All right.
Get that bitch real quick.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 18.
Come.
I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren,
Come.
like unto thee,
That's right.
and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him.
That's right.
So he's going to speak unto all that he commanded. And how he commanded us through the knowledge and wisdom of the scriptures.
That's right.
We got this knowledge, man.
6 and 4.
And not only us, but you got brothers throughout the four corners of the earth that's teaching this truth and sincerity.
That's right, and that's what makes this truth beautiful, man. Because we could go home and watch another brother's video. You know what I'm saying? And they could watch our video like, oh, this brother's out here in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? This brother's in Los Angeles. This brother's in Detroit, Michigan, man. You know, all over the place. That's what makes this truth beautiful. Because those are our brothers. You know?
This is Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4.
Come.
Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our God is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thy heart.
So the words that he commanded us these days, it's the law, statutes, commandments going to be in our heart. We're going to take heed to that word and we're going to listen. And just to let me back on what the brother was talking about, we can go watch another video. That's the beauty of the truth. You know, we can go home after we do the work and go watch another brother do it. Because for this scripture right here, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 13. Now I'm going to start at 11. He that keepeth the law of Yahweh getteth understanding thereof, and the perfection of the fear of the Lord is wisdom. He that is not wise will not be taught, but there is a wisdom which multiplies bitterness. The knowledge of a wise man should abound like a flood, and his counsel is like a pure fountain of life. Let me go to verse 15 real quick. If a skilled man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add unto it. But as soon as a one of no understanding hear it, it depletes him, and he casts it behind his back.
Right.
So the Most High said, like a wise man, once he hear it, he's going to take heed to it, and he's going to add on to it. Which means he's going to water that seed, he's going to elaborate on something that the brother may have said.
Keeping it flowing.
And then, you know, that he may have said that he may not, you know, he made a red, or we made a red, and he didn't understand, he may elaborate a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? But that's the